None of that comes out. Fortunately, we now have a whistleblower, and I'm going to tell you something, Maria. We're gonna do what we can to bring ABC in and have them answer some questions, and as well as have this whistleblower and see what's going on as they're trying to tear down the First Amendment.
I'm glad you mentioned this because Fox News is reaching out to ABC for response to that affidavit and this Bill Ackman post about this whistleblower. We want answers, but Bill Ackman posted this on X about an alleged ABC whistleblower affidavit that says Harris's campaign dictated the debate questions, camera angles, and the fact-checking of Trump at the debate. He writes, quote, "Sadly for the state of truth in media, I expect the whistleblower allegations will be deemed to be true." Ackman also pointed out that ABC News' David Muir and Lindsay Davis have yet to make any statements on the alleged affidavit. He said, quote, "If you are not guilty as alleged, you have no choice but to immediately issue a statement denying the claims, for silence is an admission of complicity." ABC News has already denied allegations of collusion between the presidential debate moderators and the Harris campaign. We know Lindsay Davis is her sorority sister, but they told the Daily Beast last week, absolutely not. Harris was not given any questions before the debate. We've reached out to ABC to verify the affidavit and for a statement on these accusations, Congressman. But this affidavit and this whistleblower story is gaining traction.
Yes, absolutely, and as it should. We need to find out what the truth is. And the thing is this, we all saw it. We actually don't need a hearing to know what we saw, but we're going to look to do it so as we can provide some evidence as to how manipulative they are.
You wouldn't have known that if it really was something that was legitimately sent on September 9th from watching the debate. All right, so says the thing about the podium. He says she negotiated to look a certain way on the split screens. He says that ABC News agreed to fact check Trump only and not her. He says that they provided sample questions, not the exact questions, he alleges, but sample questions covering similar topics that would appear during the debate. He says that they had agreed certain topics would be off limits, including the perceived health of Joe Biden, her tenure as Attorney General, and her brother-in-law, Tony West, who used to work at DOJ and is accused of settling cases at very large numbers when the plaintiffs were Democrat operatives or anyone he thought he wanted to or could curry favor with. That's a short form description of all that. He talks about the observed bias against Trump within ABC. And then he says in this affidavit, I have secretly recorded several conversations that will prove the Harris campaign insisted upon not only the fact-checking of Donald Trump, but also insisted on what questions were not to be asked under any circumstances, or else the Harris campaign would decline to participate in the debate. All right. This is all there. Do not know we went through some of the questions about the affidavit. It's not the most beautiful document I've ever seen. A lot of not grammatical errors. Actually, there aren't any. There's no spelling errors, but there are grammatical errors in it. And then there's a notary public seal or sign without the seal, but Black Insurrectionist says he's redacted the seal, and a notary public seal does reveal the identity of the notary. So that it would make sense if you're trying to maintain anonymity all around that you might do that. Okay, so we don't know. We don't know whether this is real or not real, but we are open-minded to it, and we are trying to report on the story. Well, not surprisingly, those who are covering it in the media are dumping on it, laughing at it. We'll find out whether it deserved to be laughed at. But ABC News finally responded. They finally responded. Kamala Harris has not responded. And this is what they said. They gave a statement to the Daily Beast. Quote, ABC News followed the debate rules that both campaigns agreed on and which clearly state no topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. That's it. We followed the rules which state no topics or debate questions will be shared in advance. What? Did you have private negotiations with Kamala Harris and her campaign? Did you agree that she would have a special look on stage from the podium to the split screen situation? Did you agree that you wouldn't ask about Tony West, about her tenure as AG, about her, about President Biden's mental fitness and her role in covering it up? Did you agree to any of that? Do you deny that there could possibly be tapes of an executive or someone at ABC News reiterating that promise or making it in the first instance? This is so generic and empty as to cause more concerns than we had yesterday. It is not a denial that sounds like a truth-telling denial. I've anchored many presidential debates, as you know. If you ever accused me of any of this, what I would say is I can categorically deny that we did any of this.
I will say this about the debate. You guys know me better than anyone. You know, I basically disappeared for the end of the summer because of the weight of this debate. You take it seriously, Lindsay and I, and this extraordinary small team we have at ABC. And we spent a lot of time, and I believe it was our duty to ask the issues that Americans care about. You know, the economy. Are we better off than we were 4 years ago? Immigration. What are you going to do about the border? Why did you wait so long before you acted on the border? Those types of questions. Reproductive rights. Afghanistan. Do you bear any responsibility? Peaceful transfer of power with the next election coming. You know, these are all really important issues. The issues of our time, really. And I always say as a moderator, you know, what the candidates decide to do with that time, you can ask the questions, but they'll answer with whatever they choose to answer with. That's right. And you have to be ready for whatever might come your way, even the most unexpected of moments. As you all know, you know what I'm talking about. Right. And I will say this. All of the noise that you hear afterward about, you know, which candidate won the debate, did the moderators win or lose, that's just noise. You all know that. The most important thing to remember is that you all have the power. Everybody at home has the power to vote.
Her debate team has been an upheaval because they haven't gotten that. Karen Dunn, who's in charge of debate prep, is being described as morose because she wants to have this Kavanaugh-like moment where she's prosecuting the case. She did it to Mike Pence. Let me speak. But there may be some nuance to the rules. Yes, I'm speaking. MJ Lee of CNN says this. There have been some assurances offered to the Harris campaign about how the network would handle any moments of significant crosstalk. So the mics are muted, but who's the muter? Who's doing the muting? Because that guy's got a lot of power if he is giving assurances about crosstalk.
It could be a woman.